In working with bamboo, one of the things that's necessary is to heat prepare the bamboo. Bamboo has an oily starch in it that attracts insects, and so it's important to remove that starch from the bamboo, and the thing that does that is heat. The way that I do it is by using a propane burner hooked up to a propane tank. This sort of propane burner can be gotten at any sort of barbecue supply store, and it's made to put pots of water on. How I turn it on is I first turn on this nozzle, which opens up the gas, and I only turn it on about a quarter of a turn, and then I turn on this just a little bit, and then I light it. There's a few safety points. First of all, any information that I'm giving you here should be carefully thought through, and I'm not responsible for any accidents you may have in your home studio. That being said, it's important that you don't have things that are dangling. Tuck those in, put your hair back if you've got long hair, and just generally be aware of what's going on around the flame. You don't want to be doing this with low overhead branches or anything that could start a fire. This is a pretty safe thing to use. It's used for cooking, so very safe. But you don't want to do this indoors. The off-gassing is toxic and can create an emergency situation. So this is something that's best done outdoors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my bamboo over a flame, and I'm going to slowly turn it. And what will happen is that an oil will rise to the surface, and it'll look shiny like it's wet or shellacked. And then I take a rag and I wipe off the area where the oil is. I'm only going to do about 6 inches of bamboo at once, and then I'll move down to the next 6 inches of bamboo. All right, so my flame's on, and I'm gonna see if I can turn it up a little more. Oh yeah. The other thing I want to be careful of is making sure I don't get my rag in the flame. So I keep it on my lap like this, and I'm just gonna start rotating. The street sweeper is coming by. Sorry for the noise. And I can see it's starting to get wet and shiny. Because you can wipe the starch back onto the bamboo. I don't want to keep the bamboo in the flame so long that it starts to burn. When the bamboo burns, it becomes inflexible. If you're relying on the bamboo's flexibility for your project, then that can be a bummer because it'll crack instead of bend. I have encountered some bamboos that the oil doesn't come to the surface, and I'm not sure why, but I still heat treat them. You don't want to do this with a small plumber's torch, because what's really necessary here is getting the heat all the way around the 360 degrees of the bamboo all at the same time. I'm trying to make sure that I'm not scratching my bamboo with the metal frame of this contraption. I do reuse my rags. The rags, I wash them all together in hot water in the washing machine, and that seems to take care of it for the most part. I have gotten a new bundle of rags and not washed them before using them and had the soft fuzz stick to the bamboo. So if you buy a new bundle of rags, wash them first. So this bamboo didn't come straight out of a bamboo grove. It actually sat in my studio for a while. So you can either use freshly cut bamboo or you can use bamboo that's been sitting and drying for a while to do this process. The one thing you really do need to do before you jump into this process is wash the bamboo down with a little bit of mild soap and a soft rag. You don't want to use a scrubby because it can scratch the surface of the bamboo. So I'm going to show you close up the difference between the two. So this right here has been heat prepared, and over here hasn't. You can see this sort of has a duller look to it, and this has a much more shinier, rich look to it.